Not everybody lives, but everybody dies. So while a nigga here, I'm shooting for the sky, landing on the moon, walking on the sun, taking over the game, get it back when we done. Not everybody lives, but everybody dies. So while a nigga here, I'm shooting for the sky, landing on the moon, walking on the sun, taking over the game, get it back when we done. I'll get it back when we done. 10,000 hands in the air, have you ever seen? Work 9 to 5 or 5 to 9, do you ever dream? They in the red, but my stalk is green. Proud like I reached the clouds, all off a beam. Dreams on lucid, films on Lucas, sound on surround, and the crowd on stupid. Who that chick Dion? That's Dion on Clueless. You circling around the money, sitting in a cubic car. Field of dreams, they said I'm too corny. Funny, I got their ears all on me. Fears all gone and my peers all wrong. So keep your 2 cents in every phrase y'all coining. That's just common sense, all the hating, I honored it. I don't leap, I quantum it. I don't answer, I problem it. I just drop shit while they asking what a colonic is. Pinky, you know what I'm pondering? Not everybody lives, but everybody dies. So while a nigga here, I'm shooting for the sky, landing on the moon, walking on the sun, taking over the game, get it back when we done. Not everybody lives, but everybody dies. So while a nigga here, I'm shooting for the sky, landing on the moon, walking on the sun, taking over the game, get it back when we done. I'll get it back when we done.
What's up, CFO gang? It's your boy Jay Tuck. Real Cowboys fans, stand up and salute to everyone already in the chat. I see everybody in the building already. See my sis Sadiq in the building, L Rock in the building. My dog Lou, man. I knew my dog Lou would tune into this show because we are finally going to talk about the trenches. I see JB in the building, everybody in the building, Mike in the building. So make sure y'all go ahead and subscribe to the channel, turn on that notification bell, and share the content and let everybody know that we are live. My dog David says, what's up, fam? J Tuck, how can I become a moderator? It's real simple. It's real simple, David. All I gotta do is hit a button like that, and then bang, bang, now you got a wrench. Voila. Magic. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully everyone is having a good Wednesday, man. And I'll say this. I was talking about this on Twitter before we get started in today's show. You know, I'm in a good space right now, you know, and I think that when it comes to this content creator world, right, it looks fun, which it is, right? It is fun. I don't want to take that away, right? It's fun. You know, you get to meet a lot of great people like Lou and, you know, Sadiq and Sarge, and list goes on and on. I met a lot of credible people, and that's why I kind of remixed my intro to showcase that, right? DMV, you know, my brothers, man, I met a lot of credible people doing this content game, but it can get a little exhausting at times, right? It can be situations where it can get stressful. You know, you deal with hate, of course, which is all right. You know, you deal with hate. You deal with creativity dry spots, right? You know, a lot of people don't understand, like, it's like music, you know, like people don't care that I dropped a banger 2 years ago. Your next video needs to be a banger. Your next film session needs to be a banger. People do not care that J Tuck killed the draft 2 years ago. They come in, tune in for me to kill the draft over and over and over again. So you can have that stress. You can have the outside noise, right? Because when you start to move up the scale, y'all, to be fully transparent, you know, you start getting agents, money starts flowing in. Last year, I had agents and sponsors and all sorts of people skimming money off the top, so I was stressed about that. And, you know, it was a lot of different things taken away from what I truly enjoy doing. And what I really enjoy doing is talking football, Dallas Cowboys football. Don't mind other teams, but, you know what I'm saying? Let's keep it a buck. This is Cowboys channel. Talking Dallas Cowboys football with passionate Dallas Cowboys fans and good people, man. So, you know, this past like 2 months ago, I say, you know what, Tuck? Block out all the noise, block out all the toxicity, block out all the pollution. Let's just focus on the content and focus on the people that rock with you. And since then, man, my creativity has just been flowing through my veins. We did the Cover 3 show last night. Salute to my Cover 3 brothers, DMV and Rome, CFT, and I woke up this morning and I was going to kind of just do like a quick little OTA video, but the creativity started flowing, right? It started flowing, and I was like, nah, we gotta do a live show. And I started researching early this morning. So what we're gonna do today, y'all, we're gonna talk about Lou's favorite topic, the trenches. I'm gonna put my weapons down. I'm gonna conceal. You know what I'm saying? Salutes to, all my conceal and carry people out there. You know what I'm saying? Actually, for Father's Day, Father's Day is coming up next month. Sometimes we don't get nothing but the big piece of chicken, fellas. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it a buck, man. So I've signed up for some tactical training here in Kansas City on Father's Day. So I'm going to be out there kicking indoors, getting my Michael B. Jordan on with the scope and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I'm putting the weapons down today, and I'm going to focus on the trenches. And what really led to today's show, right, is that, I feel like when it comes to Brian Schottenheimer, we talked about it yesterday, we've heard a lot about culture, and a lot of different things when it comes to his philosophy. And I think for me personally, there was a lot of incredible coaching hires, but I feel like our offensive line coach and Connor Riley is the one that really got me excited when it comes to the staff. So, we're going to talk about extensively Coach Connor Riley. Now, you guys know I'm familiar with Connor Riley. Now, he's kind of a op, right, because he coached at Kansas State, but he's also a Jayhawk. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very familiar with Coach Riley, but I want you guys to be familiar with him as well. And once I started putting the show together and doing the research, as we kind of do, you know what I'm saying? We don't just talk out of our mouths, right? Doing a lot of research. This is probably going to be a 2-part video show series. We'll probably pivot back around because even though I have the title really focused on the offensive line, as I done research, y'all, the thing that is really standing out to me when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys coaching staff, especially on the offensive side of the ball, is aligned philosophy. Right? So this is my dog Deal picks, man. If you want to get your betting game up, follow my dog Deal because he's been killing it for the NBA season. You know what I'm saying? But aligned philosophy. And what do I mean by that? I feel like for the past years in Dallas, when it came from the Mike McCarthy era, let's just keep it a buck, right? Even though I like Mike, there were some faults that Mike McCarthy had. I felt like our offensive philosophies was never aligned. You had Kellen wanting to do this as a play caller, but Mike wanted to do this. You know what I'm saying? Kellen loved option routes. Mike McCarthy hated them. Then you have Brian Schottenheimer, who you brought in as an offensive coordinator. We'll talk about his philosophy, but Mike McCarthy's was completely the opposite, right? So it wasn't aligned. And as I started studying this coaching staff on the offensive side of the ball, we'll talk about defense in upcoming months, right? But on the offensive side of the ball, it's going to be scary and eerie, y'all, how everything is aligned, line by line, bar for bar, and they're not teetering off of it, which I think is a positive because you're not going to have different voices pulling your offense in different directions. So I want to go back to a old video because I dug back. Like, I was researching Shotty from Georgia. I researched Shotty from his time in New York. I researched Seattle. But when we first hired Brian Schottenheimer as offensive coordinator, I did a video on the new identity offense, right? What Shotty likes to do. Now, I didn't know at the time Mike McCarthy wasn't going to do none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? I thought we had a new offensive coordinator, a new mentality, right? We were going to kind of lean towards that. I didn't know at the time Mike McCarthy wasn't going to do none of that. But that's one of my most popular videos. I think it's like 89,000 views or something like that. It went crazy, right? With Brian Schottenheimer. So you may have seen this clip, but I want to play this clip one more time to make sure you guys are kind of familiar, and then we'll kind of walk down the lines when it comes to Brian Schottenheimer and this offensive philosophy.
How do you kind of spin that forward to what you have in this collection? What do you want to see out of that group as you move forward with the guys you have? I think the biggest thing with the running game, obviously, is it starts with the guys up front. You know, that mindset.
Starts with the guys up front and the running game. All right, so boom. Mental nugget right there when it comes to Brian Schottenheimer.
Physical mindset, the ability where, hey, we're going to control the line of scrimmage. That's easier said than done. It's easy to have that mentality. I think a big part of it, obviously, is getting a guy like Mike Solari to come here and coach the offensive line. A lot of respect for Mike.
Now, Mike Solari, you know what I'm saying? But we'll talk about Mike Solari here in a second. But keep cooking, Brian.
He was with my father for a number of years. I coached with him for a year. The stable of backs that we have here is exciting. But when you emphasize things in coaching, you normally get results. And that's just something that we've talked about from the very beginning when I first started talking to Pete, was that was going to be something that you got to have the ability to run the football when people know you're going to run the football. And when you lose that, you kind of become one-dimensional, and that's hard. So, again, we're trying to find some different wrinkles, find out who we are, you know, different ways maybe to attack people. And that's been kind of fun throughout this whole phase 1, phase 2, getting into OTAs.
What are some of the hallmarks of a Brian Schottenheimer?
So they're asking like, what are some of the staples of the Brian run
being
game?
Physical,
right? So let me rewind that.
Play action.
So they're asking like, what are some of the staples when it comes to a Brian Schottenheimer offense, right?
Obviously the running game. Being physical, play action pass. But obviously here it always starts with always protect the ball. You know, the
run game, physical, play action pass. Now this is Brian Schottenheimer, y'all, back in Seattle, right? Back in Seattle, he was saying offensive line, run game, being physical, play action, right, and protecting the ball. So this is my dog Rome, CFT in the building, right? So I want you guys to kind of think about that. Put that in mind. That is Brian Schottenheimer back in Seattle. So let's fast forward to where we are today, and let's hear what Brian Schottenheimer had to say at his very first press conference when he was announced as the Dallas Cowboys head coach.
Going back to what Jerry and Steven both said as far as freshening things up, looking for a change. From a head coach perspective, that's going to key in on the offense. Generally speaking, how do you look to move forward as far as modernizing the offense? You talk about solving for the quarterback. What does that look like under a Schottenheimer era?
Yeah, again, I go back to my days with Pete. I think if you go back and you look at some of the things we did in Seattle, obviously the starting point for me would be things that our players do well. You're always going to start with that. If your system's not flexible enough to do what your players do well, then you're probably in the wrong business. But I'm a big believer in cut splits. I'm a big believer in shifts and motions to distort things. We're going to do a great job of marrying our runs and our passes and make those look the same. I'm proud to say that 2 different times in my career as a coordinator, we led the league in rushing.
Led the league in rushing 2 different times.
And they go hand in hand. The running game and the action passing game go hand in hand. But I would say there's a tempo element that we're excited to mix in, that our players have all shown an affinity for. And let me expand on that a little bit. Why do players like tempo? Well, they like tempo because it allows them to play free.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have heard some of the play calls. Dak could rattle off 4 or 5 of them right now. They're pretty long. So when you go fast and you're playing on the ball, these guys, it's a little bit more like pickup basketball, you know. And those would probably be the biggest things that I would say from an offensive standpoint.
Yeah. So one, he said motion. I know that gets Dallas Cowboys fans excited, right? Because I know a lot of you have been asking for motion. Now you have to have motion with a purpose, but we all know motion has kicked our ass numerous times, right? So I know a lot of Cowboys fans want to see motion. And if you follow Jay Tuck for the longest, what is the one thing, y'all? Y'all know I absolutely love when it comes to our offense. It's tempo. I've made so many damn tempo videos. I probably got about 40 of them things up, right? So you mentioned, motion. He mentioned tight splits, right? Not having CeeDee Lamb flexed all the way out on the damn boundary, having tighter splits, compressed sets, right? Motion. But he also talked about marrying the run game and the passing game. So that way you can't tell it's a run, and you cannot tell it's a pass, right? And I did a video, I forgot what video, I got to dig back in the archives, we drop videos daily. I remember I went through a film session and I blatantly told you guys, based off the alignment, based off the personnel, right, you can tell whether it was run or it was pass. I think when we went trips right, it was like pass like 90% of the time, like something crazy like that, right? So you want to be able to have that element of surprise. Now, I saw someone who posted this in the chat, right? It says, I'm not buying it, right? I'm not buying it. I see someone saying all the right things, T-Jack, and I get that, right? I get that. I really do, and I understand where you guys are saying for it's the Sunshine Anderson. Heard it all before. All your lies, baby, this thing isn't working now. That's old school, right? I get it, Cowboys Nation. We have heard it all before. And this is why I said that this might be a 2-part video, because after I dug into his Jets time, Georgia time, Seattle time, Dallas time, I dug into pretty much every press conference that Brian Schottenheimer has had, because I also wanted to see how does he deal after losses, right? But when I dug into Brian Schottenheimer, he is saying the same thing from the beginning to now, right? So here's what I'm trying to say. When it comes to Brian Schottenheimer and the distinct difference between him and Mike McCarthy, and there's probably numerous more, right? But from a philosophy standpoint, Mike McCarthy cherished the passing game, right? But was open to the run, okay? He was a pass-first guy. We know what he did when he won the Super Bowl. A lot of 10 personnel, kind of used these hybrid type of running backs, right? But Mike was a passing guy. When it comes to Brian Schottenheimer, y'all, he is a running guy. He is he is Mr. Run the damn ball, right? He is Mr. Run the damn ball. It is in his veins. We can go through numerous press conferences. He's saying the same thing he's saying in 2025, back in 2018, 2017. The list goes on and on. So he believes in the run game. Now, I explained this numerous times, right? There's few different approaches. You can use the passing game to set up your run, which that was more the Mike McCarthy approach, right? Brian Schottenheimer is the opposite. He wants to use the run game to open up the passing game. Now, will that remain true when we go off to Philadelphia opening night and you got to go against this defensive front? We shall see. But listen, y'all, when I tell y'all this, the run game is coming. It's run game or die trying, right? Now, it's not just Brian Schottenheimer. It's also his offensive staff, right? His offensive staff. And people got to think, Clayton Adams wasn't the offensive coordinator out there in Arizona. We had to give him a better offer to snatch him away from Arizona. But why did Brian Schottenheimer want Clayton Adams so bad? Well, let's listen to the interview from Clayton Adams when he met with the people at DallasCowboys.com.
Big, strong, fast, tough, smart. There's a lot of different words that you could use on the interior there. We got a long way to go, and we got to get a lot better in regards to, running the football. I think that first and foremost, you do whatever you have to do to win the game. And so I don't think that you go into a game and say, like, well, we're just going to run it 70 times and we're going to see, what the score ends up being. You got to do whatever you can to win the football game. But creating explosives in the run game is a recipe for creating explosives in the pass game. And hopefully the hope is that by
Y'all hear that?
Pass
Y'all hear
game.
that?
And
What does it say? It's saying the same thing.
Explosives in the run game is a recipe for creating explosives in the pass game. And hopefully the hope is that by being able to move the line of scrimmage, you're able to protect differently than just having to drop back all the time. Because I know one thing is it's a heck of a lot easier to block these D linemen when they don't know it's a pass.
Right.
So, that's one of the things. And the other part of it, and I truly believe this, is that when somebody can impose their will on you in the run game, it's a disease for the entire team, and it affects everybody in a negative way. And conversely, it affects your team in a positive way. It's like, all right, we're going to go out on this drive, and it's going to be bang, 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 and then boom over the top. Or, maybe you did that on the last drive, and you come out with a play action that hits a deep crosser or something like that. I just think it's a recipe for disaster if you can't run it and they can run it on you.
If you can't run it and they can run it on you. What was the Dallas Cowboys Achilles heel last year? Everybody let me know in the chat. We could not run the ball and everybody could run the ball on us. I said this many times last year after we played the Baltimore Ravens and they just lined up and ran the ball down our throat with Derrick Henry. I don't think Mike McCarthy can even commit to doing that in Dallas last year if he wanted to, right? But then you have Brian Schottenheimer with this philosophy of run to set up the pass, being tough, being physical at the line of scrimmage, right? Marrying the run game with the pass game, play action, right? Then you went and got this guy out of Arizona who was an offensive line coach who wasn't an offensive coordinator. You went and plucked him for the reason why. Because his philosophy, y'all, matches yours philosophy, and he has been proven at the NFL level to establish the run game. He did it in Indianapolis, and he also did it in Arizona. Now, let's get to the main topic. You got your offensive coordinator, and then all of a sudden you need an O-line coach, right? And there's numerous people around the NFL you could have plucked as an offensive line coach. But the Dallas Cowboys and Brian Schottenheimer went to the college ranks for some odd reason, which the Cowboys really haven't done in previous history, right? They went to the college ranks to get their offensive line coach. Well, why, right? People were asking me, Tuck, why did we go get Coach Riley for our offensive line coach? Well, let me introduce you to Coach Connor Riley. So when it comes to Coach Riley, y'all, and I'm not sure if you guys can see this, let me make it bigger here for y'all. But Coach Riley, he is more than an offensive line coach. So if you run down his history, he started off as a run game coordinator, offensive line coach in Nebraska, Omaha. They was 4th in the nation in rushing. All right, 4th in the nation, that little Nebraska, Omaha. You know what I'm saying? A small school, right? Then he went to Sacramento for a little bit, but then he went to North Dakota State. And that's when things really changed for Coach Riley, right? He went to North Dakota State, 15-1 national champs with Coach Klein, okay? And each of the years, 6 years, when he was at North Dakota State, they rushed for 235 yards average on the ground, right? And 286 yards per game in 2018, which was top 10 nationally. Y'all pick up what I'm putting down, right? Riley's offensive line was ranked highly in the fewest sacks allowed at North Dakota State. 10th in 2016, they were ranked nationally, and 8th in 2018, and won 5 national championships, all right? And then boom, all right? Then he goes to Kansas State. And then in 2020, during the pandemic season, just like Lou was saying, North Dakota State is run game U, right? North Dakota State is run game U. 2020 at Kansas State, he had no previous starters because they're kind of going through a pandemic. He had one of the top offensive lines in the Big 12, right? Kansas State was second in the Big 12 in rushing touchdowns, was 29. I think the leader had 30, right? They had 30. Yep, that was Trey Lance's school, and Hunter Luepke, right? Yep. So Kansas State was second in the Big 12 in rushing touchdowns at 29. I think the leader was 30, right? Coach current Dallas Cowboy and Cooper Beebe. Cooper Beebe, we did it, y'all. And Cooper Beebe won Big 12 Offensive Lineman of the Year. Cooper Beebe was one of the most decorated offensive linemen in Big 12. And at what position was Cooper Beebe decorated at? Left guard. Left guard. You know what I'm saying? We'll talk about, that's a whole nother show, but Cooper Beebe got down at left guard. You know what I'm saying? He got down with the get down at left guard. So we'll talk about that in a whole nother show. Probably bring my dog Lou in for that one. But Cooper Beebe was him at left guard. So if things hit the fan at left tackle, You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Cooper Beebe, right? And then Riley's offensive front surrendered less than 2 sacks per game over a 5-year average. That's the longest streak in Kansas State history since 1985, right? And so what ended up happening, right, for the Pop-Tart Bowl, you know, they said, you know what? Let's see what Coach Riley can do, and we are going to let you call the plays and let you be the offensive coordinator. All right? So when Coach Riley was the offensive coordinator at the Pop-Tart Bowl, right, K-State rushed for 257 yards versus a very talented NC State defense, right? So they ran all over NC State. So he is a guy that also has run game DNA, right? But let's go ahead and listen to Coach Riley talk about, you know, what he was doing in his philosophy as he geared up to be the interim offensive coordinator for that Pop-Tart Bowl versus NC State.
What does your style look like as an offensive coordinator?
Yeah, it was interesting. I know there's a lot of people who thought that we were going to come out in that bowl game and run the triple option, and obviously we did not. Our philosophy, obviously, in order to be successful, we need to have the ability to throw the football. The complement of our run game, it creates a lot of
the complement of the run game. He hasn't even met Schottenheimer yet, y'all. He's already saying the same sentiments of Schottenheimer and also our new offensive coordinator in Clayton Adams, marrying the run game with the pass game.
Creates a lot of one-on-one matchups. You know, it's a simple game of addition and subtraction sometimes. When you look at our philosophy, it's got to be complementary football. Do we have to run the ball in order to be successful? Absolutely. Do we want to be very efficient in the pass game and also, along with that, very explosive in the pass game? There's no question about it. So I'm looking to continue to grow that. The offense that you have seen the last 5 years has been a continual evolution of all those guys involved, and I'm certainly excited to continue that evolution.
So that is Coach Riley, y'all. That is Coach Riley. And so after that Pop-Tart Bowl, he got promoted to being the offensive coordinator of the Kansas State Wildcats, who was, I think they were 11th in overall in rushing last year. And they averaged like 213 yards on the ground with DJ Giddens, which we're all familiar. Now, yeah, you already saw it, bro. You've already said it. This is going back in the film. I went back in the trenches. This is Cooper Beebe. This is Cooper Beebe, y'all. This is Cooper Beebe putting in work. Cooper Beebe right there at left guard, and you got Deuce right there, running back. Big, physical, in the trenches, right? So this isn't just pillow talk when it comes to this coaching staff, right? This isn't just, I'm going to say what the people want to hear, right? These guys, from our head coach, from our new offensive coordinator, to our offensive line coach, this is a fun snow game versus Iowa State, so I just put it out there, right? To our offensive coordinator, to our offensive line coach, all bleed running the damn ball. It's not a fake facade. It's not something that's just going to be made up for hype. They really believe in running the damn football. It's just who they are. That is who they are. I felt like last year it may have been pillow talk. Mike McCarthy, it may have been pillow talk. But Brian Schottenheimer, from the moment he's gotten to Dallas, y'all, he went out there and got guys that think and believe in the run game just like him. So it doesn't have to be a situation where Shotty has to sell you on this, right? Shotty doesn't have to sell you on my philosophy. They already believe it. They already believe it. It ain't no selling. There ain't no arguments. There's nothing, right? It's going to be a situation where the main core of our offense really believe in running the damn football and marrying the passing game with it, right? Now, Lou, you said something. We'll talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like, okay, that's a cool story, bro, but we're missing the main ingredient. But, y'all, I'm kind of getting excited because I don't think this is going to be a situation where this offensive staff will give up and abandon the run. I feel like if we see the Dak Prescott 45 pass attempt games, it's because shit's really hitting the fan and we got to go and get up out of there. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like this team is going to approach this offensive season with getting the run game going because it simplifies everything. And I even talked about this when it came to Coach Riley. Also, if you go to ND State, North Dakota State, also Kansas State, the thing that he also did very well was he managed the time of possession, right? Managed the time of possession there. So I feel like, y'all, it might be a little bit different, but this team has a DNA with their coaching staff to go out there and run the damn ball. And I think it's going to help everybody, right? It's going to help our offensive line. Lou play offensive line, right? When you are pass proing and you are peeling back on your heels 45 times a game, bro, all it takes is to lose 3 reps. Terrence Steele can do 45 pass sets, right, and win 42 of those. But if 3 of those are strip fumbles on Dak Prescott, what is everybody in the chat saying? Terrence sucks. Terrence, get him out of there. Terrence. This guy's a gangster. His real name is Terrence, right? Because you're pass pro and pass setting 45 times a game, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it puts you in a situation where it just doesn't work in your favor. And I feel like getting a guy, an offensive line coach that believes in it, an offensive line coach, now coordinator, believes in it, right? It's going to be the DNA of the Dallas Cowboys. JC Cowboys Network, what's up with you, dog? And here is another nugget, y'all. Here is another exciting thing when it comes to the offensive staff, right? Like I said, I was in my bag today. My creativity was just flowing through my veins, right? The Dallas Cowboys have Brian Schottenheimer, who's been an offensive play caller. Clayton Adams, offensive play caller. Connor Riley, offensive play caller. And you also have Ken Dorsey, offensive play caller. You got 4 guys in there who's been play callers before. You got some guys in there that has done this before, right? So just having that type of IQ, football IQ, that savviness in the room, because you have Connor Riley can kind of give you that college approach because he just came from K-State. And the one thing I'll say about K-State, y'all, is not sexy football. K-State is dirty, grimy, blue-collar football. And you just look up. That's how they always been with Coach Snyder as well. It ain't sexy, attractive, and all sorts of stuff, but you just look up and you don't know how it happened. Trust me, as a KU fan, I've been through it numerous times. You just wake up and say, how the hell did we lose that game? It was dirty, grimy, boring, and when you look at it, look back on it, you set back and you just got your ass whooped. You just got your ass whooped. You know what I'm saying? Nothing sexy, not a bunch of loop-de-loops. Now, Kansas offense, it's a bunch of loop-de-loops, right? It used to be a bunch of loop-de-loops until Coach Coffis left, until Coach K left and went to Penn State, right? But it's a bunch of loop-de-loops. Kansas State football is grimy, physical offensive line, line up, zone game, and run it down your throat. Y'all can't even name me some K-State wide receivers, can y'all? They can't even name me. You know what I'm saying? Besides the Lockett brothers. What's the last wide receiver that's came out of Kansas State? There ain't none. You know what I'm saying? They ain't none. But for some way, they find a way to win, and they've always just been in sync. They are very lunch pail. So I'm extremely excited about Coach Riley and what he's going to bring to this team. Because like I said, y'all, he's an offensive line coach, but he was a play caller as well. He's worked his way up. He's a 5-time national champion, so he's been around some winners. Just like Lou said, run game you at North Dakota State. they run the damn ball. Now, I know there is a difference in philosophies. A lot of people think that Coach Adams, the offensive coordinator, is going to be more of a gap zone. And let me ask y'all that before I start this. Do you guys know the difference between a gap blocking scheme and a zone blocking scheme before I start diving into it? I don't want to confuse y'all. And if not, me and Lou might do Lou, I might hit you, bro, because we might do like a full show on gap versus zone, right? So if y'all don't know, let me know. But typically when it comes to gap, you're kind of like how you watch the film, right? You can see they're kind of down blocking away from when the ball carrier is going. Zone blocking, they're really blocking a space, right? So, when you talk about gap scheme, trying to simplify this, it's kind of big on big. It's more big that we can get deep into it if you guys want. But I know people are saying, okay, well, Tuck, at Kansas State, they ran a lot of zone, right? They were like 97, 98% zone blocking scheme at Kansas State, right? And then at, Arizona, he was more kind of a gap blocking scheme when it came to Coach Adams. Well, just like Coach Adams just said in the interview, sometimes you might think you're going to be a gap scheme or a gap, based team, and you might not have the tools or the ingredients to be that. You might not have the physicality up front to do that, so you might have to switch to zone. Like Jordy Nelson. Yeah, Jordy Nelson's one. Jordy Nelson was, how long ago? Ooh, that was a long time. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. Like, Kansas State, they had Jordy Nelson. I'm trying to think of, I know the Lockets came out of Kansas State, but it's like they don't have killer wide receivers coming out of Kansas State. So it's all been ground and pound. So you're going to have that versatility, right? And I think that's also a thing that I've liked when I've been hearing this Dallas Cowboys offensive coaching staff speak. They're not going to be married to ideas. Mike McCarthy, he was married to ideas until his shit blew up. And it was like, save me, Dak. You know what I'm saying? All right, bro. You know what I'm saying? All right, we trying this whole text coast thing, this quick throws thing, and we're getting punched on. Just fix it, right? But I don't think this Cowboys team is going to be married to ideas where, hey, if we're trying to be a zone scheme team and that shit's not working, then we might have to run a little duo. We have to move a little counter. Like, how is it going to fit the guys that we currently have in-house? And I think that, Shotty said that in his interview. Like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta make it fit with the guys that we have in-house. Now, I saw my dog Lou kind of mention it. Man, it would be nice if we had a Quinshon Judkins right now. Damn, dog, it would be nice if we had a Travion Henderson right now. Shit, it would be nice if we had a Bucky Irving right now. Damn, man, Devin Neal could go crazy right now. I'm going to ask you guys this, and I'm going to create a poll, because I want to see, you know what I'm saying, do the Cowboys have a true RB1? Put this in the chat. I'm going to see what y'all see. I want to see. You know what I'm saying? Bang. Start the poll. Let me know. Poll is up in the chat. Do the Dallas Cowboys have a true RB1? I would say personally, like y'all are voting and slamming 100%, no. Right? Like Javonte Williams. But can I sleep easy at night knowing that we're going to take Javonte Williams on the road to Philadelphia and we ain't got to worry about nothing? No. Right? I saw someone mention Jadon Blue. I like Jadon Blue's upside, but I think it's going to be a slow play, right? I think Cowboys fans, what we're doing is, ISO, Damian Martinez, Damian Martinez sitting right there. You know what I'm saying? So we didn't get it. You know what I'm saying? I like Jadon Blue, but I feel like it's going to be a work in progress, because if we are going to keep it a buck, and y'all know that's how we do on this channel, all right? You can't tell me that Jadon Blue is a better prospect coming out of college than Deuce Vaughn. He's not. He's not, right? Now, does he have bigger upside potential? Yes, I think he does. Jadon Blue can hit his head on a goalpost, cut and crease to the crib, right? But I feel like when it comes to Jadon Blue, it's not going to be given. He's going to have to cut through some people. Now, I feel like it might be a situation around week 6, week 7-ish. We can be saying, all right, we've seen enough. He needs more carries. But as of right now, I cannot definitively say that he is our RB1, not even remotely close. So I feel like as of right now, Javonte Williams is our RB1. And what my suggestion is, yeah, they could have got Devin Neal. Don't even get me started on that, Cam. Don't even get me started on that. You know what I'm saying? But what my suggestion is, it's the same suggestion that so many Cowboys fans have had online, whether it's on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. The same suggestion that my dog Des Bryant has had on Twitter. He's even called up and text Stephen Jones. I saw the text. You know what I'm saying? He showed them to me, to Stephen Jones. Brian Schottenheimer needs to pick up the phone, baby.
It's pretty well known. Nick Chubb's a pretty talented guy. You know, your assessment of him after kind of working with him and working with NFL backs and stuff like that. I mean, what's his future look like?
Well, obviously he's a bulldog for a long time, but tremendous young man first and foremost. Again, you know, your first exposure to these guys is always in the classroom. That's one of the things I always look to evaluate, because if you can't learn the playbook and you can't make adjustments and stuff in the classroom and then apply those to the field, it's hard to play this game at a high level. Obviously, very football smart, very bright. Again, but the work ethic he displays on the field, just the way he practices. I've been around a few guys that have worked like that, and again, I think he's very mature beyond his years and what it takes to be an elite player. Just you watch the way the guy works, the way he finishes runs, the way he attacks individual when he and Coach Brown are just kind of doing some simple footwork drills or read drills or even pass protection. He attacks his craft, and so obviously the ability, we've all seen that. I mean, the sky's the limit for the guy. Again, the thing I was most blown away by was just his work ethic, both in the classroom and on the field. And again, when you do that, it tends to lead to success.
Don't that sound like everything Brian Schottenheimer is still saying today? Now, I will say this, Shotty. I'm not sure what's in your cut, bro, but Brian Schottenheimer has aged well. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he has aged well. Is that a Georgia G in the back? Yes. Yes, bro. Brian Schottenheimer coached Nick Chubb at Georgia. Coached him. That's Georgia Bulldogs.
It's pretty well
That's
known.
Georgia.
Nick Chubb's a pretty talented guy. You know,
That's Georgia. That's Georgia. That's Georgia. That is a simple phone call. That is a simple phone call. Brian Schottenheimer should be able to pick up the phone and have Nick Chubb in Dallas immediately. And just like someone said in the chat, there is no way you can convince me that the running backs that we have are better than Nick Chubb. I know there's some people, he's washed, he's out. I don't know how many years we're going to go through the same song and dance where people want to say any running back that's over 25 years old is old and washed, right? But I guarantee you by week 3, we will be singing a different tune when it comes to Nick Chubb. And then you could go out there with this. Nick Chubb, Javonte Williams, Jadon Blue, and then whoever gets in where they fits in, whether that's Deuce Sanders, Phil Maffa, you know, you name it, right? But I feel like if you go with Nick Chubb, Javonte Williams, and Jadon Blue, that is a good stable of running backs. That's quality. That's quality, right? That's quality. So if it's me, you at least have to bring him in and see. You have to. Now, I think what might happen is they are going to give these running backs a go and kind of see how things shape out in camp and let them kind of battle for it. But you run the risk. You run the risk of somebody else picking up the phone and calling Nick Chubb. You run the risk of Kansas City being like, shit, I'll call him. You know what I'm saying? So why not just go get him now? Also, my mic is clipping. My mic is clipping. Check. Let's see here. Check. Let me turn it down. Come on. We good. So yeah, JB, he coached Nick Chubb at Georgia. Simple phone call. If Williams doesn't blow out his knee, I think people will look at him as RB1. I do like Williams, T-Jack. The thing is it going to be enough, right? And I feel like we have the philosophy, we have the coaching staff. I just need the main ingredient. You know what I'm saying? I just need the main ingredient when it comes to the run game. And it's just, I just want that, like just one of those ones that has to keep you up at night, right? Kind of like Tolbert, right? Tolbert would have been okay at wide receiver 2. Tolbert could have probably got you like maybe 900 yards and maybe 7 touchdowns, but it's a difference between Tolbert and Pickens. I think we all agree, right? Do I think Javonte Williams can get you 1,000 yards, maybe 6 tutties? Yeah, throughout the course of 17 games, but I don't think he's going to put the fear of God into any defenses as of right now. Now, maybe that can change. Right? But the scheme, the offensive line, like Mark Anthony is mentioning, right? Philosophy, maybe there's a resurgence in Javonte Williams. We'll have to sit back and see. But I think that if you want to kind of have that ease of mind, that peace of mind, I would definitely go for Nick Chubb. And I see what the poll is reading right now. The results got 76%. Nah. 76% nah that we don't have a true RB1 in Dallas, right? Now, of course, we can't get greedy. But here's the thing, right? What I am trying to avoid is a situation where Brian Schottenheimer believes in the run. Clayton Adams believes in the run game. Connor Riley believes in the run game. But since we don't have that guy, and we start getting 3 and outs, Dak says, here we go. And I'm going to get this shit done my way. You know what I'm saying? With Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. You see what I'm saying? So I just think that if you go get you a premier running back, it makes it easier to commit to the run game because you're going to have that trust, right? I feel like when it comes to Javonte, Deuce, Jadon, Phil Maffa, Sanders, whoever you guys want to say, right? It's going to be some trust that has to be earned because when things hit the fan, right, and you're in Philadelphia opening night, and it's 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, and Dak is trying to avenge himself because you got him ranked at number 17th on these damn polls, he's probably going to audible out that shit. He's going to audible out that shit and say, here we go, and throw a quick slant to George Pickens. And people are going to be mad at it. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be mad at it. But I'm going to understand it if they're not getting the job done. So hopefully these guys can really step up and get the job done. But like I said, y'all, I think overall, just from a philosophy, I like the aligned philosophy that you're finally going to have an offensive staff that's all on the same accord. Because when you have, like I said, people pulling you in different directions, right? Jerry wants it done this way. Steven wants it done this way. Will McClay wants it done this way, right? Kellen Moore wants it done this way. Mike McCarthy wants it done this way. It was just problematic, right? As Jay-Z says, nobody wins but the family feuds. And I feel like when you have all this decision in our locker room when it comes to our staff, right? It's kind of like parenting, right? If the mom and the dad are on opposite ends of the spectrum, more than likely the kids are going to be some badasses. You see what I'm saying? They're going to be some badasses, right? You have to be aligned as parents, right? If mom says no candy for breakfast, dad needs to say no candy for breakfast. You know what I'm saying? Dad can't be passing out Skittles at 8 a.m. after mom just said no, right? I think that's where the Cowboys are trying to head. And after hearing Brian Schottenheimer talk about changing the culture, right? And they asked him specifically, Dak Prescott specifically, it was like taking down those walls, right? Instead of having coaches over here, players over here, defense over there, special teams over there, everybody is intertwined, right? And I'll say this, and Lou probably let you guys know about, his interactions when he played, right? When I played football, it was black shirts only. As defense, we trained together, we lifted together, we did all our drills together, we ate breakfast together, we had lunch together, we had dinner together, we had film study together, we even had our study hall separate. We ain't even see our offense damn near till the time it was time to go 7-on-7 or reps on reps, right, in practice or on game day. We didn't have nothing to do with them. I'm trying to think. Out of all my roommates, nope. I had 7 roommates in college. None of them were offense. It was all defense. Corner, D-tackle, linebacker, D-end, safety. Yeah. So we all stayed together in the same house. I'm trying to think. Who was somebody in the offense that we hung out with? We had one of my homeboy, Austin, he was a guard, right? But for the most part, defense was a cluster over here, and it was segregated, right? And I feel like that is what Brian Schottenheimer, based on what Dak Prescott was saying, is trying to eliminate, is the segregation amongst the team. Now, I'm going to touch a hot button, right? You know what I'm saying? And while I do that, you guys touch that button, subscribe if you haven't already, share if you haven't already, hit that like button if you haven't already. I'm going to touch a hot button. And I know that how Cowboys fans get, either overprotect or you overhate or overanalyze, right? But I feel like this needs to be said. Dak Prescott, right? Salute to you, bro. If anybody believes in you, it's me. Been riding with you from day one. Even have the tweets about drafting you on draft day out there in the cold weather on Chicago. Dak, I'm hearing everything that's going on right now. I'm seeing the talks, the conversations from Shotty and Micah, the locker movement, the culture changes, everything's going on, right? Being more of a cohesive unit across the board. Dak Prescott, if I can give you any piece of advice, it's this. You need to go to one of those hockey games. You need to go to one of those golf events, right? You might need to show up at one of those charity events, right? And what am I getting at? We saw the Cooper Beebe and Tyler Guyton and Tyler Booker. We saw them at the Stars game going crazy, right? A cohesive unit, right? And then we saw Micah on the live stream with CD and Tyler Smith and, Osa, right? We can't have Dak secluded just being Unk away from everybody else. We can't have Unk over here and then all the young boys doing all this stuff. I'm not saying you got to go to the strip clubs. I'm saying not got to go to the nightclub, but you need to be at least something with these guys, these younger guys, right? Go to the hockey game. Stars about to kick or tip off, or not tip, puck off, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because of hockey, right? Go to a Stars game. Take them to the rink. And I'm not just saying the Dak yard, right? The Dak, that's work, right? That is work. That is work, right? You need to get with these guys outside. What's going on? I said tip off and started playing tip off. No. All right. You need to get in touch with these guys outside of work, right? Because they even said it on that live stream. I'm not sure if you said that, watch that live stream, y'all. You know what I'm saying? They said, oh man, Dak ain't coming to this, man. He don't F with us like that. You don't want that. You don't want, just like Be the God just said, you don't want to become Russ, right? You don't want to become Russell Wilson, because you run the risk of the same thing happening to you that happened to Romo. We know the story, right? When Romo went down, Dak stepped up, but Dez talked about it, and so many players dropped the puck, right? Drop the puck. That's what I think. Okay, boom, right? They said the thing that really gravitated with Dak when he was young rookie is he was connecting with everybody. He was hanging out with the defensive players and hanging out with Zeke and hanging out with the offensive line. Like, he was intertwined, right? You don't want to be a situation where the culture is changing, but they view you as the old DeMarcus Lawrence guy. So I'm not saying you got to hit the club with them and all that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? You got a beautiful fiance at home, and trust me, I get it, you know what I'm saying? When you got a beautiful wife and beautiful kids, you ain't trying to do all that extra, you know what I'm saying? Even though I do pop out every now and then with my young dogs. But you got to do something, Dak, right? Don't be completely over here while everyone else is, you know, because I remember, right, when they had the Odell Beckham thing, when they took OBJ to the Mavs game, right? They asked Dak was going to go. He's like, oh, I don't like sitting courtside. I don't like sitting in suite. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Make sure you do not lose touch with these younger kids, and popping out and showing with them every once in a while. It's okay. It's okay. I'm saying it's okay. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to ruin, you're not going to lose anything. Yeah. And see, I see James come in there. Dak is time. Dak is, I told you I was a hot, because people overprotect Dak. Bullshit. You need to go to one of them hockey games. Trust me. Go to one of them hockey games. Go to one of those hockey games. It's not going to hurt. What is it going to hurt? What is it going to hurt? What is it going to hurt? You guys need to tell me Dak going to a hockey game with his young offensive line. What is it going to hurt? What's it going to hurt? You got to tell me. Yeah, bro, you can pop out and still be unk. I do it all the time. You know what I'm saying? I do it all the time. I pop up every now and then. You know what I'm saying? I ain't popping out every weekend. But it's like, yo, like when I'm in Dallas and there's a bunch of content creators like going to the bar to watch the game, you know, of course I might want to go to sleep or something. I'll pop up and shake hands. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to stay long. Micah had a charity event. Schottenheimer's popping up. Shotty's popping up. Shotty's popping up. Shotty pulled up to Micah's charity event. Right? So it's those little things. And reason why it's important, right? Maybe in past it wasn't, but the reason why it's important now is because it's what your head coach is trying to build. It's what your head coach is trying to build, right? So yeah, stay for a half, bro. Pop up, take a few pictures for the gram, you know, and then dip out the back. You know what I'm saying? But at least you have to connect with your guys outside of the Dak yard. Outside of the Dak yard. It says if I was a coach, I don't hang with players. It depends on what type of coach you want to be, right? You could probably be an old school type of coach, and you know what I'm saying, the players are over here and I'm over here, right? But don't expect these players to lay it on the line for you and you don't even know their son's name, right? You can coach any way you want to coach. But the way that Shotty is building this is that I feel like these players are going to ride for him. Now, of course, it's still early, but the little things go a long way, y'all. We all know that. We all know that. Oh, no, James. Bullshit. I'm pressing the hot button, bro. I know you're going to get upset. I do not care. I am looking out for Dak Prescott. No. We're not going to sit here and baby because he's not. I'm not saying Dak is a horrible human being. I'm telling him to go to a damn hockey game with his teammates. I'm not asking. I'm not asking for him to lay it all on the line. I'm asking him to pull up to one of your teammates' charity events and say what's up with them for a little bit. I'm not asking nothing crazy. I ain't asking nothing crazy. I guarantee you, if I'm in Dallas, right, and let's say Lou Takes, right? Lou Takes is having a content event or whatever, right? An offensive line camp, right? And I'm in Dallas, I'm going to pull up to Lou's event. I'm going to pull up to Lou's event. Now, am I going to stay the entire day? Probably not. But I'm at least going to pull up to support Lou's event. Yeah. What's up, bro? When I'm in Dallas and Law is having an event, right? I don't stay the whole day, but he'll Law, oh yeah, we're doing something for some Cowboys. What? Pull up. All right. I drive all the way out to Frisco to pull up and show what's up and show face and support my dog Law. It's really simple, right? And people who've been in locker rooms or been a part of a team, they understand that, right? The foxhole mentality. When I know that's where the whole analogy of foxhole comes up, right? When you are people who've been in the military, right? When you know someone on your, you know what I'm saying, whether you're in the military or army or whatever, right? You know their mom's name, their kid's name, you know everything about this person. You are going to ride for them more different than the person you do not know. Let's take it out of football, right? For all of us who have jobs, who do y'all ride for more harder at work? The person that you talk to every day, you have your separate group chat, who you have the happy hours with, you are going to ride for them more at work versus the person that comes to work every day, be's a goody good, has their Zoom camera on, and then dip. You know what I'm saying? Brothers in arm, Willie T. Exactly. Why do you think me personally, I ride for content creators so hard, like Boss and Law and Vach and Sky and DMV and Rome and Lou? You know what I'm saying? Even though I haven't met Lou, I've met them all in real life. I met them in real life. Law has met my mama. West Coast has met my mama and my daddy. Mike Tagg is, you know what I'm saying? Mike Tagg invited me to his house before, you know what I'm saying? I've met his kids. He's met my wife. So I ride for Mike Tagg differently than I would ride for someone I never met before. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, don't follow that advice where you're too good and you ain't got to pop out and show and they can, you know what I'm saying? They can go do their things. Every now and then, you need to pop up and show. I don't care what nobody in the chat says. I am giving you advice. Because I guarantee you, let Joe Milton start popping up to some shit. I guarantee you, don't let it happen. Don't let it happen. It's simple. I'm not asking to throw for 8,000 yards. I'm asking, if you're in town and your teammates having a charity event, just pop up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not asking. Yeah, we all human. Show me the human side of you, bro. That's it. Those bonds that you have, it lasts a lifetime. Right? He even said, even last year, right? I think his brother did an interview. He said that Mike McCarthy knew about Dak being a father before even his own brother. I guarantee you Mike McCarthy and Dak's bond grew strong because you're talking about shit outside of football. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what builds it. That's what builds that when you're going to lay it all on the line for your brothers. You see what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things. Yeah, I don't think Dak is acting Hollywood. I just think that sometimes he might need to, you know what I'm saying? Be reminded, bro. You can go out there. You can go to a Stars game, bro. Oh my God. I just clipped it. Did you hear Jay Tuck's live? He told Dak Prescott he should go to a Stars game with his teammates. Ooh, shock value. God damn. I mean, you've done it before. He's done it before. Why stop now? Why stop now? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, when you get older, you can lose it, right? You can lose it. I don't want you to lose it. Because what happened was you saw it. You never saw DeMarcus Lawrence with any of them. You know what I'm saying? You never saw him with them. You never really saw Zach Martin with them. You know what I'm saying? So don't become them, bro. Like, nah, bro. Like, Mike is having a bowling event. I know Shotty's gonna pull up. You know what I'm saying? Some other people gonna pull up. I'm gonna pull up, say hi for a little bit. I ain't gonna stay all day because I got kids and shit. But I'm gonna pop up, show some love, show some support, boom, 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 and keep it rolling. It goes a long way. It goes a long way. It goes a very long way. You know? So yeah. So that was my 2 cents. Maybe it was a hot button. I know, right? Anytime you say anything when it comes to Dak Prescott is either hate, or how could you? No. Please, no, not about Dak. Don't hate on. It's like, God damn, bro. It's hard. It's really hard because you can't. It makes it tough, right? You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of stuff going on with, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not getting into all that. But when you have it like that and you have all this, you can't just have a fair conversation. You know what I'm saying? You can't have a fair conversation because people either going to overprotect or overhate. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, so yeah. So Dak, trust me on this one. Just pull up. Just pull up. You know what I'm saying? But it's different when your child is super young and your lady is pregnant. He's already super busy. Yeah, I feel that, but he's also been at other events. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like he's been at home. You know what I'm saying? So he's been at other events. You know what I'm saying? So it just is there. You know what I'm saying? I rock with Dak, still wearing 2019. Salute to the service jersey. Keep cooking, Tuck. Appreciate you, dog. Yeah, I got a bunch of Dak jerseys. You know what I'm saying? I got the MVP with the Madden patch on it, you know what I'm saying? I got a bunch of Dak jerseys. I even got the 1961 when those shits are just bad luck. Them shits is bad luck because that was the year he broke his leg and ankle. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, DMV, bro. I guarantee you. All right, case in point, right now, I am live. Right, I'm live streaming. Right now, I'm sure DMV has shit to do. I'm sure that Rome has shit to do right now. But what's happening? They at least popped up and showed some love to the stream. JC, Lou, right? And when they go live, I'm going to pop up and show love to their stream. Now, I might not stay the whole day depending on what's going on, right? But you pop up and you show love. That's how you build a bond. That's how you build brotherhood and sisterhood, right? I could be like, DMV's live. I'm too busy. I ain't got time for all that. I ain't got time to see what DMV's talking about. I ain't got time to share JC's film breakdown. I ain't got time for that. I'm busy. I ain't got time to share Lou's film session on offensive line and nah. Bro, I'm supporting my brothers and my sisters. It took me half a second. It's not like I had to travel to Virginia to show some love to DMV. Bro, I had to click a button and say what's up to the chat. This is I'm showing support to my brother. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Yeah, I'm like DMV just because he's relatable right now. Yeah, I mean, and see, that's the thing is that people, they want to feel like they can relate to you, but understand, you know what I'm saying? Like y'all know I'm more than a content creator. I mean, y'all see all the stuff that I'm doing. I'm more than a content creator. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people gravitate towards me, not even for the Cowboys content, just because of the person that I am. It's different. You know what I'm saying? It's just different. So you just have to make sure that you don't lose that, right? It's not like, oh, Jay Tucks, now I'm at the Super Bowl and I'm doing all the combine stuff. I ain't got to do no live shows to DMV. I ain't got to, hell nah, bro. I can still pull up, You know what I'm saying? I get it, right? Outside of football, outside of content, right? I don't just talk to DMV and Rome about football and Cowboy stuff. Hell, we talk about way more other stuff than that, right? It's a bond that can never be broken. I don't give a shit what nobody says about DMV and Rome. I got they back full tilt. I got they back full tilt because I know the type of men they are. Those are my brothers. We talked about some real life from parenting to all sorts of stuff. Ain't nothing you can say about DMV or Rome, not to my face, and get away with that shit at all. You know what I'm saying? It's because we built that brotherhood, bro. You can do the same thing in sports. You know what I'm saying? So this is what it is. So I don't want to spend too much time on it. But listen, go to a Stars game. You know what I'm saying? Go to the Stars game. And yeah, that's it. Just say hi, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Boom, boom, boom. And keep it moving. All right. So, all right, man. That's natural, but we ain't telling him to get drunk and naked and just sober up and show up. Maybe the youngers are not making the same mistakes. I mean, bro, it's literally Cooper Beebe had his shirt off at a Stars game, bro. We're not asking him to go pop bottles in the club at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, goddamn, y'all act like I'm asking Dak to go to the Diddy party. No, bro. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying that, bro. I'm just saying, damn, bro, if your teammates are pulling to the Stars game or something like that, or they about to go shoot some pool or something like that, yeah, I'm gonna pop out with y'all for a little bit. And I'm gonna keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I said, man, press that hot button again, Tuck. We need to build some character in the fan base. I mean, I get it, bro. It's just, you know, it not to harp on anybody because a lot of us come from different situations, right? You know, maybe some of us played, some of us didn't play. Maybe some of us come from certain different areas in town. I just know how the small things can have a big effect, right? You know what I'm saying? No Diddy part. I just know how the small things can just have a big ripple effect, right? The little things that matter the most. The little things. They don't have to be the big things, you know what I'm saying? You know, hell, JC, if he's still in here, I don't know the last time me and JC have done a show because we've been busy. He's been working, I've been working, we just haven't done a show, right? But I guarantee you when JC's going live, I'm there, right? If I'm going live, it's the little things that matters, right? And hell, I think JC even invited DMV over to his house. Him and his wife cooked dinner for DMV. I think, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's just stuff like that, bro. It goes a long way in building brotherhoods and building bonds. And once again, like I said before I end it, this is what your coach is trying to do. This is what your coach is trying to do. Coach owner Jim Irsay just died. Oh, rest in peace, man, Jim Irsay. We asking Dak to be that dude. He was put on different injury back in 2016. We know people mature, but you should never mature past being charismatic, right? Facts. You know, he talked about playing dominoes with Clarence. Okay, how about you skip playing dominoes with Clarence and just play it with Micah? How about that? Simple enough, right? Don't Dak cancel going to play dominoes with Clarence. I love Clarence, but forget Clarence. Go play dominoes with Micah and Trayvon instead. You know, damn. Yeah, fight night at JC crib was electric. You see what I'm saying? And so you built a bond with JC. You met his wife. You met his family. You were in his home. You ate his wife's cooking, bro. You know what I'm saying? You're going to ride for JC just because of that. Just like the way I ride for Mike Tag, bro. Like Mike Tag is like this. You know what I'm saying? Mike Tag can call me right now like, hey, man, Tuck, I'm at the airport right now in Kansas City and I don't have an Uber. I'm going to jump off this live stream. I'm going to pick up Mike Tag, right? If DMV was here in town, DMV, I'll pick you up from the airport, bring you where you got to go. You want to come to the crib, I can grill out. Like it's different. Now there's some content creators that be like, oh, I'm in Kansas City. All right, that's what's up, bro. Have fun. That's what's up. Enjoy. Stay safe, you know? But there's certain individuals in our community, it's actually a lot, where they're like, nah, I got you. You know what I'm saying? I got you. Dak invites you over to the barbecue if you can't leave the fam. Bro, Dak, you building a brand new house, you know what I'm saying, for only a family of 4. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, have a cookout, have fishing. And I know he's done that type of stuff where he's had like Lyle Collins come over and they fish and drive ATVs and stuff at his house. Don't lose that, Dak. Do not lose that. And don't make it center around football. You know what I'm saying? Don't be like, hey, you guys can come over and ride ATVs at my house, and then after that, we going to hit the practice field. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Hey, nah, bro, come over to my house. I built a brand new house. Y'all come over and let's vibe out. Dak for real playing dominoes with Clarence. Yeah, I was saying you might as well throw in the towel, Dak. You know what I'm saying? Playing dominoes with Clarence. You know what I'm saying? Dak, you are not you in big bro territory. You know what I'm saying? You in big bro territory, bro. No, you ain't got to sell out completely and play dominoes with Clarence. You know what I'm saying? You ain't that old, Dak. You know what I'm saying? I should be playing dominoes with Clarence. You know what I'm saying? Actually, I'm not even old enough to play no dominoes with Clarence. I'm not throwing the towel. You know what I'm saying? So, Dak, you just big bro right now. You ain't got to go full unk mode with the team. His best friend on the team was Harvey Martin, his quarterback Roger Staubach, and Tom Landry. No fanfare, no newspapers. Nobody ever knew until Drew told the story. Yeah, players and coaches have bonds. You know what I'm saying? Players and coaches have bonds all the time. You think Jimmy Johnson wasn't bonding with the players? Right? So it's not. Yeah, Dak's only 31, bro. You're only 31. Don't. Trust me, Dak, you will have all the time in the world to play the unk role. You know what I'm saying? I'm just now in unk territory. I kind of like being unk territory. You know what I'm saying? I get to be the cool uncle. You know what I'm saying? Dak, you are far from being in unk territory. Just enjoy being big bro right now. You know what I'm saying? Tuck, you ever in Las Cruz, New Mexico? I got you, brother. Thanks, bro. I never been in New Mexico. I don't think, but I might get down that way. So yo, want to really dive into that, man, about Coach Connor Riley, y'all. Like I said, I'm extremely excited about adding him to our staff. I think that he is going to be a valuable piece, and I would be shocked if our offensive line doesn't take a leap forward, specifically Tyler Guyton. I think he White Sox with Santos Clarence. No way. Salute to Clarence, dog. Salute to Clarence. Clarence, my dog Clarence is thinking he gonna be able to hang with me in Las Vegas when the Cowboys play the Raiders. I'm like, bro, I don't know. I probably can't hang with Clarence. Right? You know what I'm saying? When I was at the Super Bowl, it was Clarence, Calvin Watkins, my dog Darren Smith, so kind of the OGs of the media game. So they were there hanging out all night, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, nah, y'all look like y'all about to get into trouble. So maybe I can't keep up with them because they look like trouble, you know what I'm saying? But y'all know me, I'm about work, my business, and I'm back to my room, man. I like my downtime. When I travel, y'all, I like going to my room. I'll be eating Subway and candy and shit and watching YouTubes and reading books, you know what I'm saying? I don't really want to be out and about because y'all seen some of my live streams when I've been out at these media parties. It's trouble everywhere, and I am not about to get Shannon Sharp. You ain't about to shay me. So no, I come out, say hi to everybody, maybe have a few food samples, have a drink or two, then it's deuces. I'm back to my room, back to my hotel, eating candy and watching YouTube videos. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do. People like, Tuck, you boring, bro. Nah, y'all ain't about to club shay me. Hell nah. Nah, nope. I'm not claiming Unk status of 50. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like 50 at least. 50 for Unk. You know what I'm saying? 50. You know what I'm saying? I ain't claiming Unk. You know what I'm saying? I'm big bro right now. You know what I'm saying? Definitely Unk territory. I'm right there too. JC Unk, you know what I'm saying? I think we all kind of maybe floating in Unk territory. Maybe you're the guy that gets in trouble when trouble is close. Got to know yourself. Yeah, possibly. My point is Dak already does stuff with his teammates that few people know about. I live in Huma, Louisiana, just down the road from a place called the Crookedry. Dak came down to 3 or 4 teammates and went fishing. Yeah. So what I'm saying, bro, Mark, continue to do that. Right? Yeah, OG status. That's where I'm at, Los. We're in OG status. I'm not big bro. I'm an OG. I'm an OG. Come on, Tuck, bond with the OGs. I said what's up to him. Salute to Clarence. Salute to Calvin. Salute to my guy Darren Smith. You know, I talked to him for a minute out there, but they had that look in their eye. You know what I'm saying? They had that look in their eye. You know what I'm saying? I was like, nah, because like I think I went live for y'all. You might have to go back. But Super Bowl, they had this media party. So it's everybody who's everybody in media is all there. They have free drinks, free food, free this, free that, music. That's where I put the snake around my neck. It's at the media party, right? They had snakes right there. Jane Slater had a crocodile. All sorts of shit going on. You know what I'm saying? And once the party kind of starts, it's cool. But once you start to get to the late night, it starts to get a little, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, nah. You know what I'm saying? I ain't, nah. No. You know what I'm saying? Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Oh, yeah, do a great job. Okay, well, you know, you from this. Okay, appreciate, nice to meet you. Okay, boom, boom, boom. Uber, deuces, to the room, Subway, Skittles, Jolly Rancher gummies. I'm on Laffy Taffy here. Laffy Taffy's my shit. Laffy Taffy, the Laffy Taffy sticks. I get about 8 of Laffy Taffy sticks, some Gatorades, a Lunchable, and Tuck is at the room. Tuck is at the room. You know what I'm saying? When I'm in Vegas, the people downstairs, the MGM, as soon as I pull up, they already know what I want. She's like, oh, you want the Subway sandwich that we got yesterday? Gatorade? Just charge it to the room. I'm going upstairs. Deuces. You know what I'm saying? Because they ain't, you know what I'm saying? Ain't about to, you are not about the club Shay me. No, sir. Not me. You know what I'm saying? No, sir. All right. So, yeah, man, just got to be aware. Got to be aware, man. So I appreciate all y'all for tuning in. Like I said, y'all, extremely excited about Coach Riley. And I like the aligned philosophy when it comes to this Dallas Cowboys coaching staff from an offensive standpoint. So hopefully they will go get a running back. Will they? Probably not. But I think that they are going to have a mindset to commit to the run and want to go out there and improve the game on the ground. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, like the content. We got a lot more live shows, film breakdowns coming up. I might go live again this weekend, for the holiday season. If you guys are traveling for the holiday, for Memorial Day, please be safe. Don't drink and drive, all that stuff, man. Once again, I'll probably stay at home. I think my wife wants to go out of town, but I'm not sure. I've been dealing with pet issues. My cat is sick right now, and it's been bumming me out, man, because I'm not sure what's wrong with her. So I took her to the vet. Gotta take her back to the vet tomorrow, get more blood drawn. And honestly, I wasn't a cat guy. I never liked cats, hated cats, never wanted one. Of course, the family wanted a cat, right? So we got a cat. And then who does the cat only rock with? Me. The cat doesn't deal with my wife, doesn't deal with my kids, don't deal with nobody else. My cat only rocks with me. So it's Dad's little girl, and she is sick right now. Not sure what's wrong with her. She's acting out of the ordinary because she's not eating. And everybody knows my cat, she loves to eat. So hopefully they get her right. So I've been dealing with all that, man. So I'll probably be at the crib. DMV says cover 3. Bang, bang. We'll do cover 3 this weekend. We'll dive into it. Do some more shows, do some more film breakdowns coming up as well, and keeping y'all locked as we progress to week 1 of the NFL season and also training camp, man. So I appreciate you all. Oh, yeah. CFO Sports Talk, the website. I'm going to be working on that, getting the merch all updated. And so members and subscribers, you guys are going to have your own special code. Members going to have your own special code that it's going to be exclusive to you, that you'll have to get merch and everything. And I'm going to rebuild, rebrand everything. I've gotten opportunities to write and work for other websites, Bleacher Report and Barstool and all sorts of stuff, draft websites. But I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to build my own. Shit, you know what I'm saying? You built this much thus far, Tug. Why not just build your own Bleacher Report? So that is what I'm in the works of doing. So if you guys are writers or aspiring writers, I will be reaching out or reach out to me, right? We'll have some open opportunities for you guys, paid opportunities. You know what I'm saying? I don't do you can just work for J Tuck and work for CFO Sports and you just write your fucking arms away for free, right? I'll be giving out paid opportunities for people who want to be up and coming writers. I don't want established writers. I want people who are really hungry, that can really talk their shit. You know what I'm saying? They can really, you know what I'm saying? They can really cook, right? So I'll be looking out for writers, content creators, and yeah, so that's my next focus for 2025 is I'm building my own Bleacher Report, and we're going to do my own content there, own write-ups, all everything, and have my own shop and my own merch there, and I want y'all to be a part of it if you want to be. So I appreciate you all. Hopefully everyone has a good one. Everyone stay safe, stay blessed, stay encouraged. And Dallas Cowboys fans, I think that we are about to run the damn ball for real, for real.